I just want to add real quick that this video and the next few videos where I have the video playing in the background and me talking, and even some before this one, because you saw my Satanist video, well, what Satanism means to me, plus in the upside down pentagram, where like my audio kind of cuts out. The later videos aren't as bad as that one. That Satanist video, oof, girl, that's why I had to talk over it or add a lot to it because, girl, it was just a lot. Like it was just not cutting it. Literally, I was cutting out. But these next few videos, you're going to hear that a little bit. They're not going to be as bad, but I will say after at least like after this video and like the next 5 videos, I realized that and I stopped playing the audio. I can't remember if it's like 4 videos after this or 5 videos after this, something like that, where I realized, oh shit, let me stop because the audio keeps getting cut out. Even though it's not as bad, I don't want y'all to miss a single tidbit of what I'm fucking saying, okay? That's how much I value what I'm saying here. And that's how much I value y'all, right? And the energy, the mana you get from this, right? Because I want y'all to get everything as much as possible, right? So yeah, eventually I do stop doing that. It's because my laptop is out of date. It needs to be updated. It's an older laptop and older gaming laptop, and it needs to be updated with new drivers. When I get money, I'll update the computer, new drivers and update and stuff like that. But until then, girl, we've been broke, so you gotta bear with us. So she's been adapting like humans do, right? Um, so I just want to say that. But this video is not too terrible. Y'all can pretty much get what I'm saying in this video, even with the little tiny little jump cuts. And for like half of the video, I don't even play the little background. So yeah, so we should be good there. But I just want to let y'all know, heads up for the next future videos, this is what happens. Okay, hold on, y'all. So the ramblings of a mad scientist, right? So I was sitting here. Oh my gosh, this dumbass bitch. Why did I pull up the video? Hold up, give me like 2 seconds. Okay, I'm not recording. Hello. Okay. So, real quick, this scene is go follow Comics Explained. Do I have notifications on? Yes, I do. Go follow Comics Explained if you're into comic book. Such good, such such a good creator. But I want to just add this real quick because this goes into what I'm about to say about your past lives don't matter, right? This video is gonna be titled "Your Past Lives Don't Matter the Way You Think They Do," something like that. Plus, um, being a real human, something like that. I'm telling you something like that. I just made that up on the spot. I don't know, but so this character right here you see in the mask, right? In this comic book, this character is called Doctor Doom, right? It's actually more complex than that, but we're not gonna talk about that. So as far as you know, in this comic book, this character is called Doctor Doom, and they came from a timeline where they were tortured and abused and stuff like that, and their family was killed off essentially, right? So boom, they're stuck. They like mentally, psychologically, emotionally, they're stuck in a timeline where their family that they had, that they loved, their life was flipped upside down on his head, right? And now being in this timeline, he can't shake the thought like, okay, like I used to be this guy, I used to be big named, I used to be, I used to know my shit, I used to be this and that, mind because he was tortured, right? So the guy tortured him, took a lot from him, right? So he was like, I used to be this, I used to be that, I used to be great, I used to be a guy, I used to be this. Right, I'm embellishing, but that's essentially what he's saying, right? So he's talking to this person right here that you see from the backside about that. And I want y'all to keep up because that correlates to us in our past lives, right? Because in our past lives, we used to be this, right? We used to be that. We used to be this. We used to be that. And I'm trying to give y'all context, so just hold on. We used to be this, right? We try so hard to go back to that, but in reality, That's no longer us. But listen to this real quick.
Only a part of the problem. He says, I am not well. There are times that I feel figures close to me, looking over my shoulder like ghosts, not presences or absences to me, looking over my shoulder, not well. An alternate reality version. All of us. I just need time. And so, jumping back to this conversation with Pim, he says the latest revelation of basically the maker being an alternate reality version of me is only a part of the problem. He says, I am not well. There are times that I feel figures close to me looking over my shoulder like ghosts, not presences or absences, the shape of loss. I feel them now. And so Hank Pym asks him, right? He's like, ghosts. I see those sometimes. Only for me, it's the guy I was before the accident. I don't think that they ever really go away. I think they just kind of follow you around forever. It used to really bother me, this thing that I couldn't shake. And then one day, I had this thought. And I felt better ever since. Just because you're broken does not mean that you need to be fixed, which is a beautiful statement and incredibly profound, because I think that oftentimes, especially for someone like Dr. Doom, he latches on to the person he used to be, right? I used to be Reed Richards, and my life could have looked like this. And because that's the thing that he's always trying to get to, anything other than that is abnormal, broken, twisted, and it needs to be fixed. But who's to say that it does? We as human beings are a constant work in progress. And so just because right now you're not who you were 10 years ago and you're not who you imagined yourself becoming does not mean that you're some broken version of yourself. It simply just means you're not what you imagine. And that's it. That's really all it is. And so with Project 4,
I want y'all to take that to heart because that applies to us. That applies to us in our past lives. Because I used to be like that too. Like, oh well, I was this. Then I want my power back. Give my magic back. Like, give me. Like, I want to be this again. I want to be this. And it's like, and it goes into like all this was planned to begin with. But, um, it goes into the to like understanding like because we think we don't have those pieces the same way we do, we think we might be broken or we might not be complete or whole. But that also applies to that clip y'all just saw also applies to everything in life though, right? Just because somebody isn't healed now doesn't mean they won't ever be healed, right? Sometimes they need to go through that broken phase, whatever, right? And also no, I was gonna be like that. But hold on, I'm going nose. Forgive me. But hold on. Okay. So yes, like we think like, oh, because we don't have this past life memory. Oh, we don't have this past life experience. Oh, we don't have well, not past life, other life experience, right? Oh, well, I was a dragon here. I want to be a dragon here now. Oh, and we think like, oh, like something was taken from us, but it wasn't. Actually, something was gained a lot more than those lives individually could ever be, right? And also, those lives are inside of us, by the way. Like they never left. But their importance dimmed because just because you was a dragon in one life doesn't mean at this current moment your dragon essence needs to come out right now. Maybe you need to learn what it means to be a human, right? For your dragon essence to understand, but also for your highest self, your truest self to understand what it means to be a human, right? And sorry, oh my god, so unprofessional. I actually like it like that. Yeah, we think like, oh, we need that, but a lot of times those other lives can be distractions, young. And I'm talking from experience because I was like this too. Really bad. Like almost a year ago. Well, it was this year. Like somewhere around. It was actually all this year and the year before that. Well, most of this year and the year before that, I was like that, right? Give my power, with my magic, I want my stab. Give me my fucking stab. But like I said, those lives can be a distraction, right? And just because you don't have those direct connections to those lives doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Doesn't mean you're not powerful. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Remember, this is all planned. You plan to be a human, right? You plan to come here to experience a human, and that reason is subjective depending on the person, right? It is based off the person. And those other lives would have gotten in your way if you remembered them, one. And two, if you had to learn a lesson. Because you can't learn a. What's the point of coming here starting over with all your memory? With every, like from the top to the bottom, you had your memory from the moment you was a dragon in the highest realms, and every life before. First of all, that would kill you. Secondly, it'd be too much energy. You would not be constructed enough for that. And secondly, or thirdly, you got all those lives. What would that do for you? You would literally be like, I don't need to be here. I don't want to be here. Uh, you don't get the experience or the chance to actually enjoy this life and or gain deep, profound wisdoms, right? And those past lives are only going to make you weak if you keep trying to grasp for them. Because I pictured it this way: imagine being on a road, right? You got a left direction and a right direction. Your left direction is all your other lives, right? All your other lives. But on the right, it's a new experience. It's a new life. But keep in mind, uh, hate this shit. Keep in mind that those lives aren't going to give you a new experience, right? They're not going to give you new wisdom, new magics, new intelligence, new sciences, whatever, right? You're not going to get anything special from that old life, right? So imagine you came to a place, and when you was on that road, and you decided to like, sorry, y'all, hold on. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm getting jumbled up. But yeah, like I said, you're on that road, right? The left is your old, all your other lives, and the right is a new experience, a new life, right? But you literally contrived with your highest self that you wanted to learn more, be more, do more, right? You wanted to expand. So how can you expand if you're going left back to your other lives when you're supposed to be going right back to your new form, your new life where you got new wisdoms, new understandings that are integrated, right? Because you won't forget this. Whatever you learn here, you're not gonna forget. That's the thing. So, what would be the point of being here then? What would be the point of existing at that point, right? If you weren't supposed to grow and expand, right? And you are supposed to go right because eventually it all comes full circle. Like I said, those lives are already inside you. One and two, the lives that you're supposed to remember are inside you. But you will eventually circle back around to those lives that you once lived. Because it's inevitable, because they're a part of you. You can't escape them. However, people use those other lives as a scapegoat to not want to be human and to not want to be physical and to not want to be here, right? And that's not the case, y'all. It's not the case. And how can you gain any true power without any true experiences? For real. How can you call yourself a dragon god or a high priestess or this or that if you don't have any wisdom? Which wisdom comes from experience, right? Wisdom isn't knowing, isn't just knowing. Most of wisdom is experience, right? So how can you experience anything if you choose to be stuck and stagnant? That would defeat the purpose of creation. But it linked to some other stuff too. Um, First of all, I heard this YouTuber talk about like, because this what I'm about to say leads into like the other big topic. This YouTuber talk about, and I get like once again, and this applies to everybody, right? Everybody origin point is different. So if your origin point is Hecate, that's Hecate, right? It's your origin point. That's source for you. If your origin point is imaginary light, aka source God or source, that's your origin point, right? And if your origin point is the void itself, then that's your origin point, right? And I gotta talk about that too because I'm at the end of the title of this video. Origin points. You and me are not the same. Yeah, ain't that up? But cute little title. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say real quick. Everybody origin point. It's one thing that I'm understanding is that everybody origin point isn't source. Source being pure imaginary light, right? Everybody's origin point isn't Hecate, right? Pure imaginary darkness. And everybody's origin point isn't the void. Yes, we all came from the void, right? But a lot of us indirectly came from the void, right? Meaning, if the void created source and Hecate, right? And you came from source, your story origin point is source. Your story origin point is Hecate, right? And for somebody else, their story origin point is the void, right? Where you born, raised, fed off cornbread, right? And collard greens, right? Then that's true for you because at the end of the day, yes, we all come from the same place, but we are not the same. We are not. Our origins, our stories, our forgings are not the same. Born equal, forged completely different. I just thought I'd explain it. This is foreshadowing because I don't think I explain it in the next few videos. I explain this way later, not gonna lie, but I'm gonna make a video about story origin point and origin point, so it'll make more sense. But real quick, when I say story origin point, I'm talking about specifically the individual, you as a being, not necessarily you as a human, but you as a being whose story started maybe inside the dream, right? Or started outside the dream, right? That's when you finally decided to be a part of something, when you decided to be a narrative, be a story, right? The origin, and when I refer to, and that's different from the origin point, because like I said, when I say story origin point and the origin point, those are two different things, but they do overlap though. So everything's convoluted. But when I say origin point, I'm talking about origin point of everything. Regardless if your origin was source or Hecate, doesn't matter. Or like way later after them, doesn't matter, right? That is simply just the origin point of everything, absolutely. So absolutely everything's origin point is the truest imagination. That's the origin point. But the story origin point differs based on the individual. Your origin point and your story origin point can be the exact same thing. So if your origin point is the void, truest imagination, your story origin point can literally be the void or truest imagination, right? That's how my origin point is. It's the same thing. It's in the same place, the same space, same thing, right? So yeah, but yeah, I just want to say that one, there is no better or gooder. There's just ways for you to understand them because they're both the same thing essentially. One is just more individualized, but which is still important as well. So like I said, I'm gonna make a video about this way later. I'm not gonna lie, I might make a video about it sooner and then interject it. I just don't want the continuity to be messed up, but I'm jumping this way in advance. Like I said, I'm like 20 episodes behind. See, I might get that video 20 episodes later. So just keep this in mind when you watch this video and you watch the later videos, because later videos I really don't break it down. But I know in my video of evilness and goodness, I think I break it down. But anyways, girl, yeah, shut up. Right. So, and I respect that, and you should honor that, respect that. Everybody's different, and that's good. However, when this YouTuber was talking about how everything's conscious, and first of all, another thing, I don't like I said, this is the ramblings of a mad scientist, so I'm gonna be jumping around. Um, I don't believe in everything's consciousness. That's not me. Now, if that's what you believe, I respect that and I honor that in the strict truth. But what I've come to understand, everything's not consciousness. Everything's imagination. Everything is imagination. To me, when people say everything's consciousness, that sounds like a hollowed AI, right? To me, anyway. When people say everything is consciousness, that reminds me of the super masculine left brain of how people view things in this life because they was raised to, first of all. And secondly, it reminds me of just like how super intellectual people are. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Hold on. I'll put a chapstick on.
What is coming up intuitively?
Hold on. There is nothing wrong. Some worries. There is nothing wrong with being intellectual at all. But you gotta understand that everything isn't just consciousness. When I think of consciousness, I think of construct, right? I think of an object, a transparent object, or like a translucent object with nothing but space in the middle, right? No emotions, no magic, no imagination, no feelings. Consciousness can understand feelings, but not the same way imagination does, right? Because to me, go back to this YouTuber real quick. This YouTuber said that consciousness, no, um, he was like, oh, none of this is real. That's why everything's an illusion. Everything's a construct. Because you and I, we're not real. We're not this. Now, everybody got their own belief system, right? But they're like, oh, yeah, you and I not real. We're pure source, just pure consciousness. Ain't nothing in this room real. It's just pure consciousness talking to itself. And to me, yes, right. I respect that. I honor that. That is a truth. But there are more truths out there. For me, when I hear that, that sounds like a hollowed construct. Like, so what do you mean that nothing matters? Like literally nothing matters. Like what do you mean nothing means anything? I'm just consciously talking to myself. So I'm delusional on the highest sense and the lowest sense. Okay. But no, for real though. It's like saying like nothing really means anything because you're just I was talking to myself. Oh, I was talking to myself. Oh, nothing special, just talking. It's like playing with toys but not having the imagination to make it come alive, to make it real. So when I hear people say all is consciousness, all is mind, that's literally what I get in my body. It's like people playing with toys, but they don't have the imagination to make those toys come alive or to be real, right? Or to feel real. They don't have the emotions, the belief, the imagination, the magic. What is what you need actually for creation to thrive, right? So I am never saying I would never urge anyone to say now if you feel like that makes sense to you, go for it. I respect it. But for me, I'm not ever gonna say, nor am I ever going to suggest someone say, all is consciousness, all is mind. What I've understood is all is imagination. All is imagination. And what's the most connected and we when we sit up here and say children being childlike, the magical child, is the closest thing to source, right? You never hear somebody say, oh, being super intellectual, being super mental, being the mind, being consciousness, that's the pure form of source. Because no, it's not. Maybe to you. But what I'm understanding is the purest form of source is imagination. It's not consciousness. It's not a construct. It's pure imagination. True imagination, right? You never hear nobody say, like I said, being super intellectual, being super, you know, light, being super um consciousness. That's what source is. That's the truest connection to source. No, we say being a child is, right? And what is being a child? Being imaginary. Being the imagination, the imaginary child, the magical child, right? Right? Like when these beings talk about us or they talk about themselves, you never hear them say, "I'm the intellectual of so and so." Like imagine a being, right? Imagine us. Imagine higher beings, right, coming to us. Do you think they're going to address us as intellectuals of Earth or the children of Earth? Think about that.
Sometimes
Think about it.
we like to.
And they themselves call themselves children. The children of so and so, the children of the water, the children of the sky, etc. The children of Wakanda. You know what I mean, right? Because at the highest high, we were all made by a child. That's the gag, right? Not we weren't made by consciousness, by a construct. And I know I'm sounding like a little brat.
Oh, that sounded really bratty.
The way I'm talking. Don't get offended, please.
All of those
But for me, I'm just saying that doesn't make sense. That sounds like death. When I hear all is consciousness, I'm hearing all is meaningless, all is death. But for you, if you feel like you are just source talking to source, then I respect that. I honor that truth. I put some respect and dirt on that name, some graveyard dirt on that name. You know what I'm saying? I put some bruja on that name. You know, some magic on that. I respect it. That's true. I'm not saying it's not true. However, there are higher truths. You know, and for me, what like I said, when I hear all is consciousness, all is mind, that's like saying that the all can only approximate emotions because they're only mental. If your all is mind, you can't feel emotions. You can intellectually understand and logically analyze and understand them, but you can't feel. Right? Imagine being created by a being who can't feel. It's death. That is death. Death by a thousand cuts times infinity, beyond the void. You know, beyond eternity, beyond forever. You know, to me, when I hear all is imagination, it brings a sense of imaginary magic. It brings me to life. You know, it's hard for my nose stuffed up. I told you I've been over a cold. Oh, forgive me. How long have I been talking for about 24 minutes, I think. Um, probably 20. But that also led me into humans. And I have a video. I think it's a video diary. No, I know I did. I don't think. No. It's the ultimate. No, it's yeah. It's a YouTube video that I have on my page called "The Ultimate Death Wizard." Um, if I put this in the editing software, I'll add the thing up here. But hold up, let's do it now. It's a recent video, so raw, really pop. Go check out my channel. Check out my channel. Look at my recent videos. The void source is just as physical as it is dreamy. Humans and object permanence. It's all convoluted up there as it is down here. We are infants remembering our cosmology. Hakate and Source are twins. And boom, here's a video. It's a video diary. It's called The Ultimate Death. The Ultimate Death Student. The Death Child of Innocence. Archetypal Child. In that video, I talk about how so, if you know who this person is right here, on my thumbnail, that's Death from the Endless from the Sandman TV series. It's such a good show, by the way. Love Death. I also love Delirium too. But in the Ultimate Death Student, the archetypal child, archetypal human, I talked about being the archetypal human, right? The archetypal child. And how uh I won't go too much into detail. Just watch that video. But essentially, I was saying like, what if emotions were created by humans? Not necessarily created by humans. I'm not saying the higher beings didn't have emotions, but remember when I talked about consciousness? I feel like the higher beings they had emotions kind of like that, right? Emotions where they couldn't experience, right? Like think about humans' emotions for a moment. They feel what? Real. They feel real. Even when you tell yourself, I know I'm a higher being, emotions aren't real, da da da. They still feel real because they are real, right? Higher beings don't feel the same way we do. But you have to understand that's sacred, that's powerful, that's honor. What did I tell y'all about how magic works, right? How does magic work, right? If magic is the expression of imagination, right? And if magic is the paintbrush, right, of imagination, then, well, sorry, I said that wrong. If magic is the paint of imagination, right, the expression, then emotions and belief are the paintbrush. Imagination, magic, emotions, and belief. I put emotions and belief in the same boat, but for the sake of the video, imagination, magic, emotions, belief are the four core things to creating your reality, to creating your dream, to creating magic, right? The principle, I gotta make a video about the principles of magic. But the principles of magic include imagination, of course, magic. But if we're talking about the principles of magic, the principles of magic would include imagination, emotions, and belief, right? And of course, symbol, right? So if we are part of everything, right? As humans, if we're part of everything, then wouldn't it make and if higher beings, our creators, didn't know how to experience, didn't know how to feel so deep that it hurts, so authentic that it's real, so much so that our emotions create our dreams. What you believe equals your emotions. So what you believe creates your reality. We know this, right? Belief is emotions, right? And emotions overpower intellect, right? Because emotions, a lot of us don't want to feel our emotions because of what? They're too powerful. They're too much. But what if we were supposed to feel our emotions? Hate, lust, desire, envy, jealousy, joy, rage, wrath, happiness, despair, desire. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold up. Ah, hold on. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, y'all, I took some medicine because, girl, I was dying. Hold on, I'm taking my shirt off real quick. I think what it is just like it's too much going on. And we can smoke it. Okay, I took off all my clothes because we're a stripper, we're a slut, we're a whore, we're a divine whore. No, let me stop. Um, so I would stop this video to see where I was at, but it don't matter. I'm about to just. I know I talked about desires and being close to kin to demons. Oh yeah, humans I feel like are similar to demons, right? Oh, girl. So I knew it. Yep, I told you. Phil Swan confirm what I just said, y'all. Go watch it. Go watch Emilio Ortez podcast. where it's Till Swan on there. And what is the title? Because she literally just confirmed what I just said. Um, um, hey, oh, I'm losing my shit. It's called Till Swan Major 2026 Predictions: The Immediate Future of the Human Mind, AI, and Romance. Go watch it. Emilio Ortez. Because yes, yes.
Wow.
Where's my laboratory? Welcome. Aditi! Get out of my lab, Aditi! Sorry, that's my Dexter impression. I'm sick, so it's not as good. But, yes, D&D. Dexter's so fucking stupid. He is definitely a redheaded stepchild, ginger boy. Where he come from? And he tiny too? Who are you? Who's your real parents? Mom and dad? Okay. They're funny. I love how they wear gloves. How the mom wear gloves. Everywhere she go, girl, please. But anyway, sorry, slide note. Um, I say humans are close to demons in a sense because how demons are supposed technically humans be close to anything. But the reason why I feel like this is my little theory about why humans always instinctively want to summon underworld beings or like demons to do like their stuff is because how humans have free will, underworld beings slash demons, infernal beings, they have free will too. In the cosmos, they are designed to have free will. So that's why when they do what they do, doesn't matter, right? They do it whatever they do what they do, they don't have a governing body over them because there's nobody governing them because they are represented by the dark feminine. They are the chaos, right? And you need chaos to you need to give chaos room to be chaotic, right? So I feel like in density, we're close to the infernal slash underworld, and in resonance we are because just like how they have free will, humans have free will, right? But it's a little different though. That's just my little theory as to why like I feel like people want to summon demons and underworld monsters to do their bidding, and as soon as they think of an infernal being or underworld being, they're like, yes, yes, give me personal gain, yes. Which that's not how you should be looking at anything. um, that is super immature. Okay, immature. But it's whatever. Do what you do. But
When it's the hardest, it matters the most. And like I always come back to that. Hit super hard. I'm like double down and continue that choice point
hold on.
toward love, toward the highest love. Um, you've also said that the
Joe
universe
Dispenza.
is trying to make
That
into
bitch. That bottle no dolphin bitch. Yeah, fuck about him. See, I know I really forgot what he looking at. But it don't matter. Oh, sorry.
right.
To myself. Sick these motherfuckers out here in the world. But what I was saying was like, what if humans were supposed to embody the like I said, how demons embody lust. Whoa, tell me why this thunder actually scared me. Slick. And I think my phone vibrated too, so it didn't help. Um look, hold up now. But what if demons are supposed to be um sorry, no, look at those. Focus. Okay, focus so ADHD come down. Okay. Ma. Okay. High school musical reference. Sharpay's my favorite character of all time. And you can't make me hate her no matter what. This damn chord's pissing me off. But I'm just gonna play with it. Just keep my mind focused. So, oh I have my toys to play with, so that way I can my fidget toys. So, just like how demons embody like lust, wrath, rage, desire, and all that stuff, what if humans are supposed to embody certain cosmic forces? Humans are supposed to embody forces, and also, go watch my video called "The Archetypal Human." No, no, being the human. It's one of my first videos. Being the human. The human archetype. That's what it's titled. Humans are supposed to embody these emotions, but they are really supposed to embody them.
So much so, it's like, let's say they embody lust. They embody lust so much so. They embody addiction so much so. They embody obsession so much so. They embody love so much so that they get so dense and then they explode. By explode, I mean they expand and become a rainbow. Like they create with those feelings. And then I think what humans are supposed to do, unlike demons, unlike any other being, when it comes to our emotions, we're supposed to feel them all at once and then be able to shift from another emotion. Like, let's say I'm feeling rage. Oh, I'm really feeling rage. And I do something creative with that, right? Or like I go to the gym or go training. I channel that and I feel it. And then literally 10 seconds later, now I feel neutral, or I feel joy, or I feel sadness. And I think humans, what if humans were supposed to like feel everything all at once and still be coherent? Could you imagine a being like that? How powerful that would be? We already know emotions are everything. We know this, right? So what if humans were supposed to feel, and like so much so, there's not even a word for it, but like so much so, you're like real. Because just like how people say we're source, right? We're Hakate. We're the void. But what if, because this also goes to what I'm about to say too about me personally. What if we're supposed to be them, but something different from them? I'm talking about humans specifically, right? What if we were supposed to be something? We were bred to be, forced to be something absolutely. What if we're, like I told y'all, I'm in my video. Oh crap. Yeah, I'm gonna post that video first. It's gonna be called the no, did I post it already? No, I did. My recent video where I talked about how the universe is a hot pocket and how the void plus source is dreamy, just like just much as it is how the void source is dreamy, just much as it is not. Something like that. Um, and where I talked about the thumbnail has like a rainbow swirl. So y'all seen that. But what if we're like the pink diamond to the voids or to sources white diamond? What if we're the emotions, right? Go watch that video where I talk about pink diamond and white diamond. And how pink diamond is the emotions of white diamond. And how pink diamond is the human and white diamond is the source. Right? But what if we are supposed to be the void source, Hakate, in like the most physical form possible to where like we're so real and so raw, so authentic. We're human. We are something truly they didn't plan for. Something truly unimaginary, right? What if our and this is why I made it this is why I started talking about myself because I was like y'all personally in my own personal life. This is me getting real with y'all. I'm emotionally unstable, and when I say that, I mean like I'm like always going through identity crisis, always going through identity shift. Like I'm always going up and down in my emotions, right? And I was, and I know why, but I still ask the question why, right? I guess that's what being a human is. And I'm like, God, I'm so emotional, and it's not like oh emotion like constant anger, constant crying, constant, craziness, which they can be a part of it, but more so like I'm always going through a crisis, and then for a day or two, then I'm back to normal again, right? It's so weird. I think that's so funny, but then I start thinking like, what if some humans, right, or like humans in general, like the human archetype, specific. Let's talk about this. Yeah, let's say human archetype. What if me, right, as the human
Perfect team
archetype.
plays.
That goes back to what I was saying before, y'all. How like those past lives, yes, they matter, but they really don't. Because other lives matter, those parallel lives matter, but they really don't. Because in this life, you're supposed to be something new. You're supposed to be new. You're supposed to be something new, more powerful, in a different way. I can teach you how to be strong in the real way. That's what Pearl told Steven in Steven Universe. Go watch that show. That's a good song. What if we're supposed to be strong in the real way, right? In the way that is human, that's real, human. The void, source, or Akate can only do so much if they don't have emotions. If they can't feel. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what would be the meaning to their existence if they don't have meaning? Period. And meaning only comes from emotions. Bro, do you not understand that? How much time have I been talking? About 28 minutes? Hmm? No, I think a little bit longer than that. Like 30 minutes. So yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to make it too long, but hopefully I'm saying what I need to say. But what if Void Channel 3? Let me stop. But what if, like, we were supposed to be their emotions? We were supposed to be a human version of them, essentially. A human version of them, but also something different. This goes back to me. I don't feel. I know. I'm not from Source. Source is my sibling, right? Hecate is my mommy. The Void is where I came from. That's my story origin point. However, that's still my sibling, right? And I was thinking about this earlier today. I don't feel, and maybe because I'm going through the clip off too, I don't feel like. What was I about to say? Oh, I don't feel like,
I would love to.
nor do I give myself the same rhetoric like, oh, I'm Source. Oh, I'm a content, which is Source. Oh, I'm the Void. Oh, I'm Source. Just having a human experience. Y'all, that literally doesn't apply to me anymore. Like, I don't feel coherent when I say that. Like, I don't feel authentic when I say that. I could say, I am me experiencing myself. That sounds more coherent. Or when I say I'm the Void experiencing itself, because that's my origin point. My story origin point is the Void. But if I say source, I'm source experiencing itself. No, that don't sound right to me anymore, y'all. And I can't lie to y'all. And I'm not gonna promote that rhetoric on my channel no more. That rhetoric, because that doesn't apply to me. You know what I'm saying? If it applies to you, I'm happy for you. But that no longer applies to me anymore. Because I used to say that too. Even when I found out that I was a void child and a chimera, right? But it's to the point where it's like, yes, I'm connected to them, but I'm something else. I'm me. Y'all, I am me. And I don't know exactly what that means yet, but when I say I am me, I'm me. It's not saying I'm the ego. It's not saying I'm just human. It's saying, I don't know what it's saying, but it goes beyond the ego. It goes beyond human. The only way that I got in my imagination, the only word that I can think of saying is real. When I say I'm me, I'm real. No, I'm undeniable. I'm real. And I kind of talk about this on the Ultimate Death Student video that I just talked about, that I just mentioned earlier, where like, I'm real, yo. I'm me. Like, I'm so human. And I'm starting to realize human doesn't mean lesser. It doesn't mean that I'm just I'm just a smaller version of, I'm a lesser version of. It means I'm the most realist version of. Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm the void, but I'm so much me that I'm something else entirely from the void. I'm connected to the void, but I'm not the void. I'm something else. I'm real. I'm human. I'm powerful. I'm human, y'all. You know what's crazy? I used to be so disassociated from my body. I used to not want to be human, right? Now that I went through my life and I went through, trauma integration and all that stuff, I realized, no, I don't want to be nothing else other than human. I am a shapeshifter by nature, but I don't want to be. Human is the first thing that I want to be. Like that's the core, right? I love my humanness so much. I don't want to be anything other than human. I don't, like I want to be me. I want to be real, and for me, that's being human. To me personally, being the realest thing a being could be is human. Oh, and that's what I was trying to say. Thinking about if you watch Steven Universe, right? There's this character called Amethyst, and let me just show you. Okay. Boom. This picture right here. What the fuck?
For today's transmission,
Who created that picture? The hell? But Steven Universe, right? There's a character called Amethyst, right? And all she knows is Earth. All she knows is Earth. The gems that she roll with and the gems on home planet act and operate differently, right? Well, I will say towards the later seasons, the gems she rolls with start to become more human. But in the first seasons, the gems act like gems. They're disconnected from humanity, right? And the gems on Homeworld, which is where she's not from Homeworld, her ancestors are from Homeworld because she was born on Earth. But yeah, go watch it for the details. Rebecca Sugar is an awesome creator, but she acts like a human. She's a gem, a light being that acts human. She eats. She's always shape shifted, and she sleeps. No other gem does that because they don't have a need to eat, sleep, or shapeshift. But she shapeshifts for fun. She eats for pleasure. She dreams because she loves it. It's not a human. I wouldn't tell you. But fast forward. What the hell?
time that we're in, closing out the year 2025, where do you see
Oh shit. Okay. I don't know why. Oh, I guess I clicked on it. Okay. But she does that for fun, right? And oh my god, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. But okay. So in one of the seasons, she meets these gems right here, right? Can I like zoom in? Oh, okay. Let me see if I can zoom in. Fuck. Y'all get it. So these gems right here, right? Before they met Amethyst, they were very sterile, right? They follow strict code because gems, that's how they work. They have a function and they live out that function. That's it. They don't have emotions like that. They don't have free will. They don't think. They don't change. But when gems when gems go to Earth, they for some reason something in their physiology changes. They become more human. These gems right here, before they met Amethyst, like I said, they were sterile. They followed the book. They had no emotions or feelings. But after they met Amethyst, which is this gem right here, who's the most human, he ends up turning them, and he ends up making them more human, and they end up turning against their oppressor, right? Who acts like a gem, who acts like a gem within their function, right? And another character called Paradigm
to our timeline right now, especially
is another gem who operates within her function. But until she got stuck on Earth, she lost her limb enhancers and became more human. Green Dorito, sour cream. But she became more human, right? This was her before she got stuck on Earth. right? And this is her after she got stuck on Earth. She lost all those artificial parts of herself and became real. Those fake enhancements and became real. And because she was born in a different era, she didn't have any powers like the other first era gems did. Not spoiler alert, but long story short, I'm not trying to spoil too much, but she ends up finding her true power. I'm putting it just like that. She ends up finding her true power because she became real. She became human. Oh, oh, something just clicked for me. Sorry, in the background. Um, but that's crazy. I'm about to sit with that for a second after this video. What's her name? What's that blue bitch name? Lapis. Lapis was another fucking Jew who hated Earth, who wanted so bad to go back to Homeworld. But they realized Homeworld didn't need her, and she came back to Earth. And after being on Earth, she became more human. Lapis, Amethyst, and Peridot all represent a different archetype of the human, which is emotions. And through those emotions, they became a threat and it became powerful. Sorry, I'm about to get off. I'm about to start coughing soon. I'm about to get off soon. Hold on. Uh, sorry, y'all. Forgive me.
Would we want that?
But yeah, I'm about to get off soon. But
Yeah, at
yeah.
this point, I was actually dying. I still have a little bit more to say, but I was dying during this little segment, so forgive me.
Yep.
I know that you go to the coffee a lot.
So we're back in commission. Oh my god, I got like 5 more minutes anyway. So, hold on. It's been day 5, going on day 6, I think, where I have yet to turn off my laptop. It's been in sleep mode for like 6 days straight. Tomorrow, I will officially shut it down so it can just rest. So yeah, just letting you know how irresponsible I am. Besides that, yeah. So every last one of these beings, Amethyst, Lapis, Peridot, they were all weak. Oh my god. I guess I could just. Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on.
Get into
Pleroma. Oh, my screen is not picking up everything. Oh god. Oh god. Fuck. I thought I was being clever, but I can't change my settings because I gotta shut down my computer so my OBS can act right. My OBS is acting up because I have to shut my computer down, y'all. I've had my OBS up for like 6 days straight, right? In sleep mode. So it only records one screen at a time. Let's just see something. Display.
politically.
Ah, it's not working. And I gotta update my OBS anyway. You know what, bitch? It's okay. It's okay.
It's all coming up this
No, I'm trying to show us 3 images. Three separate tabs with 3 separate images of Lapithis, Amethyst, and Peridot. Couldn't say it. Sorry. Um, but you know the characters, right? Let me just so characters like Peridot, Amethyst, Lapis, right? These 3 characters in a show don't find their power until they fully embody the human experience. Think about that. Go watch. Like I said, I'm not trying to spoil the show because I know some people still haven't watched it. It's a really, really good show. One of my favorites, and it really got me through so much. It really got me through so much, y'all. Of course, some other shows too, but this is one of the big ones. Um, I almost wrote this show. I love this show. And I used to love waiting every episode to see what new power, what new chance, what new fusion are we gonna get, right? What new gym are we gonna get? Oh girl, the time of your life. Okay, Lincoln. But yeah, these three characters, they learn to actually wield their power. Because at first they really don't have any real power. Amethyst issue. She feels like a run because she is. So if you see the other gems over here, these how amethysts are supposed to look. They're supposed to be big. Except for the blue one, she's an agate. She's not an amethyst. But the rest of them are supposed to be big. Wait, some of these aren't amethyst. Uh, that orange one and that red one are not amethyst. There are two different type of gem types. But amethysts are these purple ones, right? Every purple being you see in this picture is what an amethyst is supposed to look like, big and strong. Because amethyst, the gems in the show are supposed to be soldiers. But as you can tell, our amethyst, the main character, she's a runt. So she has an inferiority complex, right? Her issue is being inferior and not being strong and seen as strong like the other ones. But through accepting her emotions and embodying her emotions and feeling her emotions, she is able to overcome that paradigm, like I said, which I gotta sit on her more because that actually just something just hit me in the brain. She was born during the time after the war, where gyms were weaker, they were lesser, and they didn't have any natural born powers, right? They had nothing developed. So they had to rely on limb enhancements, which is just another way of saying enhanced limbs, right? Technologically advanced limbs. Let me show this right here. So this is how she used, like, this is how she got around. This is how she valued her identity, right? But once that was stripped away, when she got stuck on Earth, she became she became human, and she had to learn and understand what that means for her to be an Earthling, right? And like I said, she ended up finding her power within herself, and she stopped relying on her on power outside of herself. False power, external power, right? Because we all know external power is just it's not real. There's no real power in that. It's only the illusion, the perception of power. And she had to understand that by being an earthling, by being human. And like I said, it might be a little spoilers, but nothing crazy. Lapis, when she came to Earth, she was actually a fucking mirror. She was trapped, right? She was trapped in a mirror, right? And when she got out, all she could do was go to Homeworld, where she was originated from, right? She was born with obviously power, right? She had power, but her power wasn't realized because she, like I said, I'm not trying to spoil too much, but she had a codependency type of thing going on, right? So once again, her power was based off the will of somebody else's, kind of similar to Paradise, but she she hid her power behind someone else's power because she felt powerless, right? After being abused and misused and discarded, she had no power. But after staying on Earth and experiencing Earth, she literally is one of the most. She literally became one of the most overpowered characters in the show. I was saying just like that. Okay, it's because she was human, right? Because she became an earthling, a physical being. She understood what that means, right? And throughout the entire show, each gym had their own disassociation with Earth. But over time, except for Amethyst, hers was a little different, but everybody else had their own dissociation from Earth. But it's until they accepted where they was at, they embodied their truth, they became powerful. They embodied it without shame, without regret, without fear. They didn't just alchemize their pain, they embodied it in the most human way possible, and it became their strength. Pain doesn't have to weaken you, it can give you strength, y'all. Right? Pain, feeling inferior, feeling that you are nothing without the external help of technology or forces outside of you, and realizing that none of that matters. None of that matters. It's what you do with what it's what it's what it's what you do with what you are. And what you are specifically is human. This human experience would never leave you, no matter how high or low you go up. I don't know if there's any realm that's lower than a human realm, but no matter how high or low you go up, this experience will never leave you. So it's either you get on board and accept it and embody the human and become powerful as a human god, not not a god, not an Anunnaki god, not a Lyran god, not a Olympian god, but a human specific god. That's a different type of pantheon. You understand what I'm saying? It's about being that and being powerful in that, y'all. At least for me. That's for me, right? That's how, at least that's how I feel. That's how I see myself, right? Being powerful as a human, being the human, right? I don't know, but yeah, that's just how I feel. So I hope y'all enjoyed. It's been an hour. Oh, I thought y'all enjoyed this video. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I missed. I might end up adding it to this video, but I'm gonna sit with this too. Like I'm gonna sit with this little download, especially with Paradox, because when I talked about her, I almost cried. But yeah, just remember that power isn't based off the toys you have, that limb enhancements you were given. Your power isn't based off your size, right? Your inferiority feeling small to the other gods, right? To the other amethysts. Your power isn't in hiding behind someone else who has power, right? Because you felt hopeless, right? Because you can't go back to the world you used to know, home world, right? Because that's what Lapis wanted. She felt abandoned. She wanted to go back home, and when she went back home, she realized it wasn't the same home she remembered, because it wasn't supposed to be. Because you're not the same gem that was created during those times, sweetie. Your other lives that you lived before Earth don't matter now. It's what you do. It's what you do with it now. Do you understand that? It's what you do with it now that actually matters. That's actually going to cause change in everything, in the entire dream, from the top to the bottom.
For improvement.
Okay? I hope y'all understand that. Because it applies to y'all too. But to each his own. Everybody has their own sovereign being, you know. But yeah. So that's all I want to say. Yeah. So if you enjoyed the video, bye, bitch.